Trump just made travel history. 10 European airlines blocked from the US in 2025. Brace yourselves, global travel just got rocked. Former President Donald Trump just dropped a major announcement that's sending shockwaves through the aviation world. In 2025, 10 European airlines will no longer be allowed to fly into the United States. Is this a necessary crackdown, or is Trump flexing political muscle once again? Hey everyone, you're watching Mr. Mysterio, your go-to-our channel for breaking down the biggest stories in the travel world. And let me tell you this one, absolutely wildfire. Trump, always known for his no-nonsense approach and controversial decisions, just made a call that's hitting Europe where it hurts the airline industry. This isn't rumor, this isn't clickbait, it's happening, and the fallout, it could be massive. So what's really behind this? Safety concerns? Trade wars? Or maybe some long-standing political grudge coming to the surface? In this video, we're breaking down each of the 10 major airlines being banned, uncovering the real reasons behind the decision, and showing you how it could affect your travel plans, global business, and even the future of US-Europe relations. By the end, you'll know exactly what's going on, and why this could be just the beginning of something much bigger. Before the start, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Number 1. Ryanair, Ireland. Ryanair, Europe's largest low-cost airline, is famous for offering ultra-cheap flights. For delays, sneaky fees, and ongoing safety concerns, Ryanair has become the go-to choice for millions of budget-conscious travelers across Europe. According to Trump's administration, the airline failed multiple FAA safety audits, particularly in pilot training and aircraft maintenance. But it doesn't stop there. Ryanair has been accused of overworking pilots and cutting corners on aircraft repairs to keep profits soaring. So, what's the motive behind this crackdown? Supporters claim it's a necessary step to protect public safety from airlines that put profit above passengers. On other side, critics argue it's a targeted political move against Ireland, a nation that's openly opposed many of Trump's global policies. Number 2. Wizz Air, Hungary. Wizz Air, Hungary's largest low-cost airline, has been banned from US airspace starting in 2025. The move has sparked intense debate. On one hand, the airline is known for ultra-cheap fares and a loyal European customer base. On the other, it has faced repeated safety incidents, labor disputes, and mounting criticism over its aggressive cost-cutting. The U.S. Department of Transportation cites major safety violations, including engine failures, emergency landings, and insufficient pilot training. A surprise FAA audit in early 2024 revealed serious gaps in emergency response protocols, prompting the ban. Whistleblowers also accused the airline of pushing pilots to fly beyond safe hours and underpaying staff through third-party agencies, practices that raise fatigue and human error risks. Supporters say the ban is a necessary step to protect passengers, but critics argue there's more to the story. Wizz Air is closely tied to Hungary's nationalist government under Viktor Orbán, a known ally of Donald Trump. Some experts believe this is a political move, pressuring Hungary into trade or defense deals. Others says the ban also conveniently protects U.S. airlines from a potential low-cost transatlantic rival. Without Wizz Air, travelers face higher fares and fewer direct routes to Eastern Europe. Number 3. EasyJet, UK. EasyJet, one of the UK's leading budget airlines, has unexpectedly landed on the US no-fly list for 2025. Known for its strong safety reputation and reliable European routes, the airline is now under scrutiny by the Trump administration. The official reason? A lack of transparency in reporting minor safety incidents. However, critics argue the real motive may be political. Some believe the move is retaliation for the UK's post-Brexit stance, which hasn't always aligned with Trump's vision for US-UK cooperation. While no major accidents have been linked to EasyJet, the U.S. Department of Transportation insists all airlines must meet stricter reporting standards if they wish to operate in American airspace. Number 4. Norwegian Air. Norwegian Air, once celebrated for making transatlantic travel affordable, has now been banned from U.S. skies starting in 2025. The Trump administration cites safety concerns linked to aggressive cost-cutting after the airline's financial troubles. These cuts reportedly affected aircraft maintenance, pilot training, and emergency readiness. While no major accidents have occurred, regulators argue the risk is too high to ignore. Supporters of the ban say it's a necessary move to avoid another Lion Air-style tragedy, where financial strain led to fatal consequences. They point to Norwegian's downsized long-haul operations and reliance on leased aircraft as reasons for concern. But critics argue this decision is less about safety and more about shielding U.S. carriers like Delta and United from foreign competition. Norwegian Air's low fares had disrupted the market, and now passengers may face higher prices and fewer options. Was this a safety call or economic protectionism? Number 5, TAP Air. TAP Air Portugal, the country's national airline, has been banned from entering U.S. airspace starting in 2025. The official reason? U.S. authorities claim the airline's security systems, especially baggage screening, and cargo checks failed to meet required safety standards, potentially leaving room for terrorist threats. The Department of Homeland Security highlighted specific vulnerabilities at Lisbon and Porto airports. But is this really about safety? TAP has operated for decades without major incidents, and Portuguese authorities insist their protocols meet international standards. Critics argue that the ban may be less about aviation threats and more about geopolitics. Portugal has lagged behind in NATO defense spending, a frequent target of Trump's foreign policy criticism. Supporters say it's a necessary step to protect American travelers. Critics call it an unfair political move disguised as security enforcement. Either way, it's a major blow to Portugal's aviation sector and transatlantic connectivity. Number 6, LOT Polish Airlines, Poland. LOT Polish Airlines, Poland's national carrier and one of Eastern Europe's oldest airlines, is now in Trump's crosshairs to ban. The official reason? Alleged ties to Russian-made aircraft components despite ongoing sanctions. U.S. authorities argue that by using parts tied to Russian manufacturers, LOT violated critical trade restrictions and compromised aviation safety. However, this move has sparked debate. Is this ban purely about enforcement? Poland is one of America's strongest allies in Eastern Europe, and a vital NATO member. So why the sudden crackdown? Some analysts believe the ban is part of a broader political message, pressuring Poland over recent disagreements on defense spending and foreign policy. Others say the U.S. is simply taking a hard line on sanction enforcement. Number 7, Air Europa, Spain. Air Europa, one of Spain's largest airlines, has been banned from flying into the U.S. The decision came after an FAA investigation uncovered troubling issues with pilot training. According to the report, several Air Europa pilots failed key simulator tests, but were still cleared to operate commercial flights. U.S. officials argue this undermines international aviation safety standards and puts passengers at risk. The airline defended itself, claiming improvements have been made, and calling the ban an overreaction. However, the timing has sparked speculation. Could this be more than just a safety issue? Supporters of the ban say this is a necessary move to protect passenger safety and prevent a potential aviation disaster. The U.S. Department of Transportation emphasized that pilot competence is non-negotiable, especially for airlines flying into American airspace. But critics aren't convinced safety is the only reason. Some point to recent tensions between the U.S. and Spain over trade agreements and defense contributions. Could this be a pressure tactic masked as a safety regulation? Either way, the ban has sent shockwaves through the European aviation industry. Number 8, Finland National Airline. Finland's national airline was unexpectedly added to the U.S. banned list, sparking widespread debate. According to U.S. officials, the airline allegedly shared sensitive passenger data with Chinese entities, triggering serious concerns over espionage and data privacy violations. The claim suggests that Finnair may have violated international privacy standards by transferring information without adequate safeguards. The airline denies wrongdoing, stating that all data handling complied with European privacy laws. Still, the U.S. government argues that the potential national security risks are too high to ignore. But is this really about protecting Americans' data, or could there be another motive? Some analysts point out that Finland recently opposed U.S. pressure to block Chinese companies from its 5G network infrastructure. Is this ban a move to address real threats, or just political retaliation for Finland's independent stance on global tech policies? Number 9, Brussels Airlines, Belgium. Brussels Airlines, Belgium's national carrier, has been banned from U.S. airspace over serious labor violations. According to U.S. regulators, the airline routinely pushed its flight crews to work dangerously long shifts, raising concerns about pilot fatigue and passenger safety. Whistleblowers claim that some crew members were scheduled for back-to-back flights with minimal rest, violating international aviation labor standards. The FAA and U.S. Department of Transportation argued that such practices increase the risk of in-flight errors and potential disasters. Brussels Airlines denies wrongdoing, stating that their scheduling complies. with European Union regulations, and that crew safety is a top priority. However, some analysts suggest the ban may have deeper motives. Belgium's close ties to the United Nations and its support for global governance structures often clash with Trump-era nationalist policies. Is this ban about protecting airline staff, or is it a quiet jab at UN-aligned nations? Number 10. Swiss International Airlines. Swiss International Airlines has found itself on the U.S. no-fly list, with officials citing concerns about financial instability. The fear that the airline could go bankrupt mid-operation, leaving American travelers stranded abroad? It's a drastic move considering Swiss is known for punctuality and professionalism. But Washington claims the carrier's debt levels and recent financial losses make it a liability. Supporters argue this is about passenger protection, ensuring Americans don't end up stuck in Europe with no flight home. But critics smell politics. Could this be less about safety and more about the U.S. trying to weaken European aviation? Trump's America First approach has always pushed for dominance, and grounding Swiss could be part of a broader strategy to steer international traffic toward U.S. carriers. And there you have it. 10 European airlines that are now banned from flying to the U.S. in 2025. Whether it's safety concerns, political tension, or shady business practices, these bans are shaking up international travel. What do you think? Justified action or political power play? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an update on global travel news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.